teams coming out onto the Ibrox pitch. Callum McGregor, focused as always. And it's an early goal for Rangers, but I think the flag is up. Kamar Roof, and with his left foot he slams it into the back of the net. He's given a free kick to Celtic. Kyogo right to the death, he's gone for it, and he's buried the ball in the back of the net. 3 points have been sealed at Ibrox. Brendan Rodgers has masterminded another Glasgow derby win. Yes, when it really mattered, the players showed up and got the 3 derby points. But as Brendan Rodgers said in our exclusive interview, it won't matter unless we get a win today. The boys arrived at the stadium just an hour ago, ready to go after the international break. Yes, Champions League just around the corner, but work to be done before they jet off to Rotterdam. Dundee, under new boss Tony Docherty, are sitting mid-table with a win against Hearts under their belts. But the last time they beat Celtic was back in 2001. This will be the 40th meeting between the sides since. Yes, it's great to have your company. Welcome along to Celtic TV's live coverage of this cinched Premiership match between Celtic and Dundee. Kickoff is around half an hour away. I will be in the company of former Celtic striker Simon Donnelly, himself just off the back of a successful winning weekend at the Masters football. Simon, have you recovered? And how long did it take you?
Just about to now. 7 days.
Really?
7 days, Jerry. Yeah, I was the tin man for 2 or 3 days, but very enjoyable, and another piece of silverware for Celtic.
Absolutely fantastic. Right, let's have a look then at the starting 11 that Brendan Rodgers has gone with. A couple of changes to this one, Simon Donnelly. We knew that Liel Abada, of course, has picked up a fairly nasty injury, so in comes Yang. And it's a debut this afternoon for Nat Phillips, so he will partner Liam Scales in the centre of that defence, with Gustav Lagerbielke dropping down to the bench. Notable bench as well, with Paulo Bernardo on there, with Luis Palma there, and Rio Hatate back in the squad. Your thoughts?
Yeah, exciting to see, but you're just the last guy you mentioned there, Rio Hatate coming back in. But yeah, a start for Nat Phillips this afternoon. I thought he'd have started the last game, but maybe a little bit not quite ready. And I think it's a reward for the rest of the boys. You know, a really good result at Ibrox in the last time out. Yang obviously comes in for Abada. Unfortunate to see that could be a period of time that Abada's out now, but it's an opportunity. Yang showed enough. You know, he's been lively in the little bits that we've seen of him so far. So yeah, full of confidence for a positive result this afternoon.
Yeah, as far as Dundee are concerned, obviously Tony Docherty has now moved up from a number 2 under Derek McInnes to being his own man. You always get the sense that when Dundee, or when an opposition team come here, they've really got nothing to lose. However, we tend to see teams sitting in. Do you think that's what Tony Doc will do?
Well, I'm not too sure how his approach will be. I think last time out they were unfortunate not to get the 3 points. I think against St Johnstone equalised right at the death. So Tony would have been a wee bit frustrated with that. I know Tony from my time with Dundee United, he was at Aberdeen at the time. It'll be interesting to see how he approaches it. I would like to see it, you know, come and have a go. I think teams, as you say, it's one of those ones where you're not expected to get a great deal out the game, whether it's at Celtic Park at Ibrox. But I think 9 times out of 10 Celtic kind of force the issue, and the opposition usually end up defending. Yeah, with
Carl Starfelt having left the club and Cameron Carter-Vickers still not completely back to full fitness, of course. A bit of experience is what the manager was looking for in that centre of defence. Nat Phillips, who comes in this afternoon for his defender, of course, he's played Champions League football with Liverpool. That's just exactly the kind of player the manager was looking for.
Yeah, I think so. And it was so late in the transfer window as well, so it was great to get somebody of Nat's experience. As you say, he's had a taste of the Champions League at Liverpool. He comes with a good reputation. The manager will know him very well from the Liverpool time, and it's one place where we've been really unfortunate with injuries from the start of the season, so it's good to get a little bit of experience.
And with Abada not being there, we have plenty of wingers at the club, and Yang is one player who's come in at the summer and really kind of not so much set the heather alight, but really kind of excited the supporters. Makes an impact off the bench, most notably against Aberdeen, where he set up Matt O'Reilly for that third goal. He gets a start this afternoon.
Yeah, deserved again. I think he's been really positive, you know, for a young lad, I think 19 years of age, really positive, wants to do things going forward, taking players on. He's got a little disguise and a chop in him. As you say, came up with the assist at an important time up at Pittodrie. You know, I'd love to see him get off the mark today, just get himself a goal and kick on.
Great momentum within the squad, despite that international break, of course, after that great win against Rangers. We can look back at the kind of parts of the game where Celtic were most dominant, and the manager particularly pleased with that first half performance.
Yeah, I thought the first half in particular, you know, they had to do a little bit of defending the second half, but with numerous chances. The only surprise is this little guy didn't take more than the one he did, because, you know, that's a couple of chances that you would normally see him take. Lagerbielke gets fouled here, and obviously we get the reprieve from the free kick when it looked as if Rangers had taken the lead. But I thought Celtic controlled that first half very comfortably and got the goal at the right time. You know, this was the VAR decision that would have given the boys a wee bit of a lift at the time as well. But a lot of play in that first half, and as I say, the Kyogo chances. And then this one, very similar to his goal at Pittodrie. Is he going to take a touch? No, not for this guy. He knows where the back of the net is, and it's a fantastic finish. And I think he's the only guy that kind of realised it was a goal. I think we all thought at the time possibly offside. But it was a fantastic performance on the back of two disappointing results. Jerry, you know, getting knocked out of the cup and then dropping points here against St Johnstone last time out. There was a wee bit of criticism, there was a bit of pressure on the boys going there, a few missing from injury, but I thought Celtic had a real team performance, and Brendan will be delighted with it as you see him celebrating here with John Kennedy. A big 3 points.
And no supporters there meant that it was a really significant win, and you could really sense the frustration coming from the stands after that one. There was some frustration here against St Johnstone. The players will want to kind of exercise the ghost of that game and put that one to bed. Dundee this afternoon, I mean, will they, perhaps their manager, have looked at that game, St Johnstone game, and thought, okay, if they can do it, maybe we should look at how they did it? Yeah,
listen, I've came here with clubs before, whether it was playing with Dunfermline or coaching with Dundee United. They will take heart from the St Johnstone game. I thought St Johnstone were dogged. They really, you know, worked very hard in the game, but you have to say Celtic, you know, missed up on some opportunities. O'Reilly's wins, obviously. So you'd like to think, from our point of view, Celtic would take a couple of those chances today, but you're up against it at Celtic Park, and as I say, it'll be interesting to see how Dundee approach it.
20 minutes to go or so until kick-off. Time now to hear from one of our stars at Ibrox, or you could say the star from Ibrox. Pressure was on Liam Scales when he was named in the starting 11 for that game. Could he handle the pressure? Well, after silencing all his doubters, he picked up the Man of the Match award. So we sent Dale and Docherty to Lennoxtown this week to catch up with the informed Irishman.
Liam, great to speak with you. How much did you enjoy that win at Ibrox, or was it something that you can enjoy at the end of the game once you get a good result?
Yeah, I suppose throughout the game it was just trying to get over the line. We knew we were 1-0 up. That was the focus, was just on getting through without conceding, and then after the game, yeah, it was brilliant. It was a great feeling, but I think I've never been as exhausted after a game as I was after that one. To be honest, it was like mentally draining, and I was just delighted that afterwards that it was finished and we got the 3 points. Being 1-0 up at half time, we sort of knew that they were going to change a little bit in the second half to come out, them being the home team and the type of fixture it is. We knew at half time we were going to have to dig in, and we did it as a unit, and that's what won us the game in the end. Some really good defending, goalkeeping, and it was defending from the front as well. Everyone was involved.
You won the Man of the Match award. Could you have dreamt of a better performance?
No, it was I wasn't expecting it, to be honest. I was like, after the game, I got pulled into the media room, and I wasn't expecting it at all. I thought, look, I had a decent game and we kept a clean sheet and that, and there was a lot of standout performances. Like Joe was brilliant, skipper, Cal was excellent, and all the way up the pitch, Kyogo took his goal brilliantly. I think it could have been anyone, but no, it was a nice little bonus. Like that's a nice little sort of achievement for me, definitely.
You've just touched on Kyogo recently. Your job is to defend the goal, but it must be amazing to have a striker of his quality at the other end of the pitch.
Yeah, 100%. He's brilliant. He's such a natural goal scorer. Like he just knows what he's doing. The goal against Rangers was just like pure instinct. Everyone, when I seen the ball go in behind and I seen him lining up to shoot first time, I was thinking I'll take a touch, but he's the man. You know, he knows exactly what he's doing, and the finish was immense. And look, his record speaks for itself.
It's always good to win the derby, but it's only a good result if you win the next one at home to Dundee. Has that been the message in training this week, Liam?
Yeah, definitely. At the end of the day, the 3 points are worth the same at Ibrox as they are at home to Dundee. So we all know that. Like, no one really has to tell us that. It's just as important. Obviously, it's extra special to go away and win at Ibrox, but as far as the league is concerned, it's 3 points in both games. That's it.
It's the start of a busy schedule, of course, after the international break. You must be looking forward. After Dundee, it's the UEFA Champions League. Yeah,
definitely. We're not quite looking past Dundee yet, but it is there in the background. We know it's coming up, and it's going to be a good trip away to Feyenoord. I can't wait. It'll be brilliant. To be involved in that would be great as well.
And just finally, Liam, you're in the squad now. You're playing your part. What's the aims and targets for you this season?
I suppose I have an opportunity now where there's a couple of injuries and I've got in and I've done okay. I've played my part in a big win, and from here I think it's just the games that I play is to make as good of an impression as I can, and that's it. Like I can't look past the games that I'm going to be involved in the next few weeks, and I think if I can do well enough in those games, it'll leave me in a really good place. So that's it.
Oh, thanks Liam for joining us, and good luck on Saturday.
Thank you. Cheers.
Yeah, so it'll be a 16th appearance for Celtic for Liam Scales. 39 appearances for Aberdeen as well last season. So Simon, he's getting the experience now, and you can see from his short highlights from Ibrox just exactly how good he was that game.
Yeah, he had a really good game, and it's quite nice to hear him there saying he was surprised to get the man of the match. He shows that bit of humility. But, they were questioned. The centre of the Celtic defence was questioned going into this game. Been well documented injuries, and Liam's came in there. He said himself there he's taken the opportunity, but a lot of the defending at times, we focus on the goal scoring and creating of goals, but sometimes this goes unnoticed. But in this game, look how many times he's in the right position at the right time, just to quash any sort of attack, especially in the second half of this game where Rangers did have a lot of the play at times, coming forward, pushing for an equaliser, and most of the time this guy was there, just headers like that, clearing it, allowing the team to get round about it, to clear the danger. He was there over and over again. As I said,
it's the ugly stuff, isn't it?
It is the ugly stuff, but listen, when you go to Ibrox at times like that, that's what you need. Even this here, he's in the right position, gets it to his teammate, and we clear the danger again. And it was refreshing to hear him there just talking about it. He was surprised to get the...
Well, he said he picked out a number of players that could have got it, and I know the fans were delighted with Callum McGregor's performance in that game. He really did control that Celtic midfield. And I know, Simon, you've had a look back at that game against Rangers, and it really highlights that if Rangers give Callum McGregor too much space, how he can dominate.
Yeah, I've looked at some stuff here, Jerry, from the game, and there was little murmurs of Callum not being at his best leading into this game, but my goodness, he was at his best in this game. Just picking the ball up in areas. I'm very surprised that the Rangers players here allowing Callum to get into little bits. He's very comfortable taking it in tight areas. This one, he just pops it off. It looks simple enough, but he creates a wee bit of space here. Turnbull opens it out. He's got look at the space on the wide left here to play it into Taylor, and Celtic are out the other side. This was very much a pattern of the first half in particular. Again, the Rangers players here allowing Callum to pick the ball up in areas like this. This is food and drink for him, and he orchestrated that first half, controlling the flow. This one here, there's nobody anywhere round about him here. Look at how far Roof's away, and he'll kill you with a pass here. Look at this pass inside the defence, and we really should score from this one. Kyogo, I would say 99 times out of 100 would score that, but then we see the second half. He has to dig in, breaking up the play. And he was inspiring the team here. Again, the ugly side of the game, if you like, where we had to defend a wee bit more in the second half, and the skipper was doing it, leading by example, inspiring the rest of the team. And if there was any doubt of how important this guy is to the team, well, you just have to look at the performance at Ibrox 2 weeks ago. He was superb.
Yeah, it was a great afternoon for Callum McGregor. I'm sure that wouldn't make for good viewing for Michael Beale, but I'm not sure he's an avid viewer of Celtic TV. I'm not so sure. Maybe he's got a subscription. So that was the result that gives us the momentum going into this one. Can you stop Callum McGregor play? I mean, can Tony Docherty look at this and think, OK, let's man-mark Callum McGregor out of the game?
Well, I think teams have tried it in the past, but I think Callum as a player is very capable in taking the ball in tight areas and getting space. You know, in that game there, you might be criticising the Rangers players for maybe not getting as close, but he's intelligent and experienced enough to drift into areas where he can get a little bit of time on the ball. And should they go and man-mark him, then you would think that would open up space somewhere else, you know. So I think he's a clever enough player, and there's been a lot of teams have came here and tried to stop him over the years. As I say, it was surprising to see him getting a little bit of criticism in the games before that, because he showed how good he was in that game.
Zach Robinson, can just see from behind there, Zach Robinson signed, of course, from AFC Wimbledon in the summer after scoring 12 goals in the Championship last season. He's got 3 goals in 7 appearances, all in the Viaplay Cup. He, we imagine, will be the main goal threat for Dundee this afternoon, if, of course, they do decide to try and get up the other end of the pitch and score a goal. All right, let's hear from Celtic goalkeeper Joe Hart. He is downstairs and he's talking to John Ledwith.
Joe, needless to say, you're coming off what was a fantastic and significant result, but how important is it today against Dundee that you follow that up with another 3 points?
Yeah, it's been a similar message since I've come here. The next game is the most important one. Whatever's happened previously, you try and learn from and build from and grow from, like we will do from a couple of weeks ago, but it's all about Dundee today.
And it's a young squad, and there's some changes in the squad. How big a part do guys like you and Callum McGregor playing and integrating these new guys in, and how successful can they be on the back of that result last week?
Look, yeah, we're still a work in progress. I think that's quite clear, but we're working every day. We're lucky enough to be professional footballers, so we get the opportunity to work together. We've got a top manager trying to help us, and anything we can all do to help, I think we will.
And it won't come as a surprise that Dundee are going to try and make this as difficult as possible. How do we win the 3 points today when we're faced with that same challenge that we meet?
Yeah, look, it's going to be difficult. They've obviously got their game to play, but we've just got to focus on our game, what we're good at, what we're strong at, try and improve on what we're not so good at, and hopefully that'll be the right combination for 3 points.
Good luck today, Joe.
Thank you.
Thanks, mate.
Cheers, guys.
Stepped over by Celtic. Furthering up! What a goal! Thompson, right into the danger area. It was left by Lee Mayer. It was turned back in by Chris Sutton. The goal for Bobo Balde. Thompson's delivery. Celtic have a third. It's John Kennedy. Bobby Lynn squares it, and Lee Mayer scores.
Celtic assistant manager John Kennedy getting on the score sheet there 20 years ago. Right, time for you to be in with a chance to win £10,000 in our Paradise Windfall today from the comfort of your own armchair. If you get yourself a ticket via the Celtic Pools app, download that. You get yourself a ticket for £2 and be in with a chance of winning that £10,000 jackpot. Please visit begambleaware.org. Right, time now to hear from Celtic manager Brendan Rodgers, who has been speaking to John Ledwith.
Brendan, we're 2 weeks on from a fine win at Ibrox, but I'm always curious from a manager's perspective, has the 2 week break come at a good time, or would you rather have gone straight back into action with your squad?
Well, ideally you want to continue playing, but we all know the calendar, so the players come away, they come back, obviously only Liel, which is the disappointment, but we're ready to go again, and that great result we had in our last game will only count if we put another good result together today.
And when I look through the squad, you've got many more options than you've had in previous weeks, but you've resisted the temptation to make too many changes. And is that a reflection and part of that good performance?
Well, listen, we're going to need the squad over the coming season. I think that having the guys back is really important for us, but we have to manage them back in. They're not quite ready. Obviously, Rio's only played or trained a few days, but hopefully he can get some action today. Paulo's not played at all over pre-season, but he's gone away and had a few games with Portugal. So it's just about managing the squad. So, but a strong bench, which is always important, and if we need it, then we know we have them there.
And a debut for a very experienced player in Nat Phillips. I'm sure he's looking forward to taking his bow in front of the fans. But what do you hope he brings to your starting 11 and squad between now and the year end?
Well, he's got big experience, Nat. I think that playing domestically with some of the injuries that we had, and obviously going into Europe, we needed to bring in someone in that short term that was going to help us bridge that gap. So his experience, his quality, he's a great talker, he's a great leader, and I think him playing in there will again help. So, but likewise, he's returning from an injury, so he'll play a part of the game today, and then we'll assess it from there. But his experience is important for us.
We saw how stubborn St Johnstone were the last time out. Dundee, a side managed now by Tony Docherty, and I know you've not come up against him as manager. You'll be familiar with him through your exchanges against Aberdeen. You'll be expecting a very organised Dundee today, making life difficult.
Yeah, I don't think there's any easy games in the division. Tony, I'm really happy he's got that opportunity to step out on his own, and obviously early stages of his managerial career, but he's still an experienced coach, so he knows what it's like to come to Celtic Park. It's up to us to like I said, impose our game onto Dundee, and if we can do that, then we can have a good day.
Best of luck, Brendan.
Cheers, thank you.
Davison on the right hand side, cuts the ball into the box. Ben Quinn goes for goal and finds the top corner. What a finish that is from Ben Quinn. He goes to thank Bruno Davison for his hard work on the right hand side, but this finish straight out of the top drawer and straight into the top corner.
Tumble to Abada, he's at Kyogo in the middle, plays it across towards Kyogo! And of course, he shoots, he scores! Kyogo flicks it through, it's a chance for O'Reilly. Can he make it 4-1 on his weaker right foot? Of course he does. He let it bounce. Kyogo, the provider, and Matt O'Reilly with his first goal of the season. Ooh, terrible back pass, chance for Kyogo! What a goal from Kyogo! He was gifted the chance after the mistake in the Aberdeen defence, and you don't gift that man chances. Here's Yang. Good play from Yang, it must be! Matt O'Reilly with the finish! It's a third goal for Celtic. Credit Yang with the assist, and that's the goal we've been looking for.
Caitlin Hayes on the ball, finds Natalie Ross, but 20 yards from goal. Ross has a look and a shot and a goal for Natalie Ross. It's her second of the game, and she'll be delighted with that finish. From outside the area, she manages to find the back of the net. She takes it on the turn and fires it home.
To vote for your favourite goal and be in with a chance of winning a signed Celtic shirt, go to celticfc.com/GOTM and register your details. Good luck.
So good luck if you're taking part in the Goal of the Month competition. The crowd is getting ready to welcome their heroes onto the Celtic Park pitch here. We're only 5 minutes or so away from kick-off. There's young Christopher, by the looks of it. Simon, big game today, but then all focus will be on Tuesday. Champions League is back, an away trip to Feyenoord. What can we expect from that?
It'll be a difficult game. Feyenoord, Dutch champions last year, but I'm really excited. Like most of all the Celtic fans out there, looking forward for the Champions League campaign to start. There's a wee bit of history with all three clubs, I believe, in the group. Lazio, obviously, most recently.
Incredible. I didn't realise that the last time we played Feyenoord was in the 1970 European Cup final when we lost.
Isn't it? That's amazing. I think we've had a friendly over the years with them, but obviously the history's there, and as I say, the two great games I remember against Lazio in recent times, and then Atletico Madrid.
Yeah.
And history there as well. So I'm really looking forward to it, and you know, it's a difficult one to go to Rotterdam in the first game, but you go and get something out of the game. You've got 2 home games after it.
You also don't want to be going to Rotterdam off the back of a poor performance here.
No, and just for this campaign, purely, if you take the Champions League out of it, this campaign, you know, the disappointment of the 2 results, a great result at Ibrox, players coming back, I think the team are only going to get stronger. Let's go on a run now.
Yeah, the international break, I mean, listen, it was exciting for those who went and played for their country and did well. You know, for the Scottish boys, went away to Cyprus and got a great result. But they'll be desperate to get back on, having got that derby win, to get back into domestic action.
You always are. I think it's the same. It reflects on the support as well. We get behind the national team, but then, you know, the head turns and you're looking back to the domestic campaign. I think Brendan said it himself there, he would have rather the games just kept coming. But now the games are going to come thick and fast. You've got the domestic game today, Champions League on Tuesday night, and he's got players coming back. Obviously, Abada's a wee bit of a hiccup with the injury there, but Celtic are only going to get stronger from now on.
It has been torrential rain in Glasgow in the west of Scotland for the last 24 hours or so, but it has relented. The sun is out across paradise. We are just moments away from kick-off here. It is Celtic against Dundee. The teams are ready to come out onto the pitch. Our commentary team high up in the Celtic Park gantry, just next to that camera that's showing you that shot, is Paul Cuddihy and Peter Grant.
The sun is shining over paradise, although we're in the shade. We are awaiting the arrival of both teams. It is good to be back home. Of course, we've had the international break. Before that, we had the small matter of a derby game at Ibrox, which Celtic won. Such an important game for Brendan Rodgers' side. And they'll be looking to follow that up this afternoon with another 3 points before, as Jerry and Simon were just talking about, a trip to Rotterdam on Tuesday night to play Feyenoord in matchday 1 of the UEFA Champions League. It's first versus 6th this afternoon. Dundee back in the Scottish Premiership, and they've started reasonably well. 1 win, 2 draws and 1 defeat has given them 5 points. Celtic with 10 points from 3 wins and 1 draw. As always, Callum McGregor, the captain, will lead the team out this afternoon. A sellout crowd as always at Celtic Park. Everyone looking forward to this game. An unusual or an unknown name in Grant Irvine is the referee this afternoon. Joe Shaughnessy, the Dundee captain. Celtic in their familiar green and white hoops. Dundee all dark blue. And Brendan Rodgers this afternoon has made 2 changes to the team which won at Ibrox. One of them enforced, of course. Liel Abada picking up that injury while on international duty. He's out for a few months. Yang will take his place in the wing. Whether he starts on the right or the left remains to be seen. The other change is an interesting one that we're all looking forward to seeing. The debut of Nat Phillips, of course, joining on loan till January from Liverpool, so he'll partner Liam Scales, who was man of the match in that game at Ibrox. So those are the 2 changes for Brendan Rodgers' side, who will of course be looking to get in amongst the goals this afternoon. And Tony Docherty, the Dundee manager, has also made 2 changes. His last game was a 2-2 draw away to St Johnstone, where they were winning 2-0. So the 2 changes for Dundee, Kerr and Howley are in for McGee and Tiffany, who actually scored the opening goal in that game. I think it was disappointing in the D ranks that they didn't get the 3 points, and I'm sure this afternoon they will be looking certainly to frustrate Celtic and try and hit them on the break. But I'm sure Brendan Rodgers will have emphasised the message of just getting off to a good start here this afternoon. We saw in, of course, our last home game here the frustration of not finishing those chances when St Johnstone were able to hold us to a goalless draw. Callum McGregor, as always, will gather the players together in that pre-match huddle as the ripple of applause, the roar of the crowd echoes round Celtic Park. So a big game for Celtic, a big game of course for Dundee. This is what they battled for last season. This was what they won in such dramatic style when they clinched the championship title on the last day of the season against Queen's Park. It is all about playing at the home of the champions. Luke McCowan has taken his place in the centre circle as the Celtic players break from the huddle. So Joe Hart takes his place in goals. Back four of Johnson, Phillips, Scales and Taylor. Ahead of them McGregor, O'Reilly and Turnbull. And the front three of Yang, Kyogo, and on the left wing Dyson, Maeda. And the referee